Joining us tonight, Patrice Onwuka. She is senior policy analyst at the Independent Women's Forum. First of all, it's great to see you. And I wanted
to see you too.
Let's go to Kristen Sinema right away. Man, she's got, it's like a communist central command post out there in Phoenix, Arizona. She's 81% with the Democrats, and that's not good enough. Your thoughts?
Well, that just shows how far to the left so many and how partisan so many Democrats are. And it's unfortunate. I mean, when you look at the areas that she's agreed with the president on, it includes funding the government, addressing the opioid crisis. Boy, if those are reasons to disagree with the president, then it says a lot about those lawmakers who are trying to vote to censure her.
I think there was one vote that they really focused on, and that was her basically saying she doesn't want to go into an impeachment process. And that drives apparently the left nuts. But the left is nuts. When you look at what they're doing, think about what the House Judiciary Committee has been doing since going into office 8 months ago, almost 9 months ago now. Nothing of substance. It's all been partisan political activism, silly and aimed at subverting the president's agenda.
Oh, absolutely. And what's interesting is internal Democratic polling also finds that Democratic supporters don't even give them a mandate to go after the president with these impeachment proceedings, which are really just a window dressing for them. I mean, I guess it's meant to help those who are in super liberal areas, whip up support. But it's not going to help with reasonable, independent, and even left-leaning Americans who say, get something done.
Still in the country?
There are many of them, and I think they're going to make up they're going to make the deciding vote in 2020. And watching what has happened in Congress after voters gave Democrats a chance at leadership of governance in the House, they've squandered that opportunity. So I think it opens the door for conservatives to say, hey, wait a minute, at least we can get something done that helps Americans.
Well, Lindsey Graham is putting on quite a show, isn't he? He's now suggesting that the president's forbearance in the face of a drumbeat for war from the neocons, as usual, is a sign of weakness. And Lindsey Graham, the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, has not done anything to protect of substance to protect or defend this president, or for that matter, the Republican Party, nor to bring to justice anyone of the people involved in Spygate. The man is a complete, to this point, waste of everyone's time. Like a cricket in a bush, you hear from him from time to time, but wonder what in the hell is he actually doing?
Well, I will say that there could have been some laws that could have made it through the Senate. He's managed to stop or at least keep from getting through or getting votes on them. What I'd like to see is really our Senate and our House come together and pass a budget that saves taxpayers and doesn't go over spending, and then for us to have a conversation and do something about
you're
entitlement
$1 trillion
reform.
Late, Patrice.
I know I am.
You're a year late. And by the way, if we start looking at what has been going on under Paul Ryan, the House didn't want a responsible budget, and he was all about, remember, he was a wonk. He was a guy who was supposed to be all about fiscal policy, and it turns out he was just working for K Street nonstop and diligently, and against this president just as diligently. His time was completely used up by the time he got around to thinking about the national interest, don't you think?
Well, I do think Paul Ryan tried his best. He certainly didn't hit, all of the high notes around fiscal conservatism that a lot of folks would like to see.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm not talking about fiscal conservatism. I'm not talking about fiscal conservatism. I'm talking about responsible governance. He didn't come close. He sold out to K Street, the Business Roundtable, the Chamber of Commerce, and Wall Street, didn't he?
Well, Lou, you probably know far better than I do. You know what?
Well, if you don't know that, I do.
Well, I will give him some credit for actually trying to push forward an agenda that would reach out to communities beyond communities of color, for example, with responsible conservative ideas.
Whoa, what did he do? What did he do? I can
He
tell you what
actually
this
had-
president did. This president has reduced minority unemployment in this country to record lows. He doesn't talk nonsense. He does act, and he does deliver. And this business of pretending that Paul Ryan ever did anything besides author something called A Better Way and put it in pamphlet form like he was going to drop it over Tokyo or something, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, I will
but
agree with you
all
on
other
President
respects-
Trump.
I'm sorry, you get the last word, Patrice.
Sorry, sir. I will just say I will agree with you. President Trump has done a lot for the black community. I wrote about it recently, and I think there are a lot of reasons why
Okay.
blacks should support the president.
One question.
Yes.
Did you ever write about Paul Ryan doing a lot for the black community?
You know, not as much.
Not as much.
Not as much.
I think you had that right. Patrice, thanks so much for being here.
Thank
Patrice
you for having
Sanluca.
me.
Check this